Welcome everyone. Welcome to Drakenmemoria. What is Drakenmemoria? You may ask, because I know that none of you will. It is Dungeons and Dragons, and yes, we have a nice thunderstorm right now in the game. Thought it would be nicer than a campfire for the 17th time in a row. Yeah, it's Dungeons and Dragons, and more specifically, a group of people playing Dungeons and Dragons. And guess what? We've got everyone right from the start of the game tonight. So, if you're not here to watch Dungeons and Dragons, well, too bad. We're doing Dungeons and Dragons. There's suggestions for you on the right or on the left, depending on where you're watching this from. But for everyone else who actually wants to be here, for whatever reason, welcome. It's a pleasure to have you with us. We hope, at least I hope that we all hope that you'll have a pleasant evening. And yeah, that's it. There's not a lot more to say. If you like the thunderstorm, it's one that I got again from the ambient music's website. There's a link below. If you want to make your own ambient music, or if you want to download one. If you want to download it, that's when it costs something, but for everything else, while you're building it, doesn't cost anything. And there's probably going to be Chaotic Calling joining us later on. But we also been having, sorry? Other pages are rating us during the stream recently. So if you're from one of those, or if you are one of those, welcome. It's a pleasure to have you. And if you join us later on, well, when you watch back the VOD, you'll know that we thanked you. That's about it, I think. Anyone else have something to say?
Anti-disestablishmentarianism.
Interesting.
Not sponsored by Red Bull.
Interesting.
We could be.
Yeah, we could be.
Could.
We won't.
The Britney
G
Spears
Fuel,
did
hit us
nothing
up.
wrong.
A valid point of view.
Did she do something wrong? No, I'm confused.
No,
Well,
I'm
it's
telling you that she
Britney,
did nothing
but-
wrong.
But now
Okay.
she is freed, so...
A valid
Okay.
point of view. I would love for you to elaborate, but we're playing Dungeons and Dragons, not ordinary life. So let's keep on going.
I mean, she could be in Dungeons and Dragons too. You never know.
Hey, if she
That
wants
was
to
the
join,
name of the gnome.
if she wants to join the
Like,
group,
this is
she just has to
Yes,
send
this
it
is a
in.
formal invitation from Drakenmemoria to Britney Spears. We would be more than happy to have you at our
Spears.
table.
I don't know why we'd suddenly
that
become
was
famous.
the name of the gnome that did the performance last episode.
Yeah.
The female gnome. I don't know. Do you think she would be flattered by having been represented by a gnome?
I would be.
Well, you're not a famous dancer, composer.
Who cares about you, Avery?
I mean, this is the part where he actually tells us he is a famous
Yeah.
singer, dancer, performer.
Nice.
Maybe that's why we keep getting rated.
Why aren't we getting more followers then?
I would like to now see Avery's performance of Toxic.
Yup.
You can only do it
Avery's
for 8
stage
seconds
name is-
before someone sues us. So choose first.
Frito, Idaho.
Hold on, I'll do acapella.
As long as it's a cover, it's okay.
All right. So let's get started before audience falls asleep.
Like I said, Red Bull.
Last episode. Well, not a lot has been happening in the last 2 episodes. yes, sure, the party did face their worst enemy yet. They survived only because one party member survived and healed everyone else up. But, you know, that's normal. That's what happens when you're an adventurer. But after that, everything was just nice and fine and relaxing. They made their way back to the garden. They started seeing familiar faces, as familiar as the warden can be, since they pretty much look all the same. But still, it's a familiar face. They started seeing others' adventure arrive. Fisher got a very personal show for him.
Thoughtful,
Heartfelt musical episode specifically for him. For something he did. He just didn't do it voluntarily, but he did it anyway. So
Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, this can only mean that because they were performing these performances for many people, that they have several of these songs and performances, you know, written down and rehearsed.
yeah, I don't, but they do, yeah. But yeah, and you probably, as a group, well, excepting Tobiyashi, who decided to meditate in the arboretum of the garden, you probably heard at least one during the evening, and yeah, the gnomes did put a whole lot of effort into it. Illusions, firework, singing. There even have been some with dancing in it. And they always make sure that the person concerned about this is right in the middle of the room when it happens. So after a few hours, you sort of did notice that no one stayed in the middle of the first floor of the tavern for the entire night. Everyone just avoided it. And alright, well, let's... I don't have the inns ready yet, but a small crackling fire feels more adequate for...
I would like to say that I went swimming in the lake before I came and met them. Just to take a shower, you know what I mean?
Of course! Yeah,
I'd like to think the campfire was because the gnomes set the tavern on fire during one of their performances.
I think the fire is not violent enough for this. We're talking about gnomes. So, yeah. Got a nice show. You got the confirmation that, yeah, Fisher wasn't the only one who got that. But other than that, for most of the night, you mostly find yourself talking about among yourselves and probably trying to get a little bit of information about how it went with other groups as they're arriving. I can't imagine audience not trying to figure out where Amiali has been during the day and why is she coming in so late. But eventually everyone gets in, and you find yourself having a near ordinary evening as far as you have started to get used to in the garden, in the tavern of the garden. Tobiyashi, on your side, you said you meditated for a few hours, so as you caught up a little bit with Longshot...
Yeah, about our existential dread.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most likely Longshot was fascinated in some train wreck kind of way of how you went from this impatient and ready to prove yourself person to this impatient, fearful person that is just next to him. And you probably share a little bit of information. I don't know how much information, but some elements. And as you're sitting there in this huge arboretum, You do notice that sun seems to be setting. You're supposed to be inside, but the sun is setting above your head. And before everything goes dark, and while you're meditating, you also see a fair amount of gnomes walking in the park section of this arboretum. And you see a few of them just walking by, stopping on a bridge, and looking at whatever inside of is inside of those ponds. You do hear one commenting something about a lake creature that sometime in the morning rises from the ponds. He's wondering if it's going to be there. It's been absent for 2 weeks. But you slowly get the impression that most of the population of this garden is gnomes. There are a few halflings and a handful of dwarf humans and half-elves. You haven't seen any elves, but mostly gnomes. And from what you know of gnomes, this can make for weird environments. But so far, nothing has been really weird, except from the fact that you're inside and the sun is setting, and you can see stars. Not stars from your world. You've never seen those stars before, but stars nonetheless. And you can also not see any moons in the sky. Something that you're very accustomed to. It's sort of a bit weird for you not having moons in the sky, because the Shattered Continent has 2 moons, which mean there is almost always at least 1 moon in the sky. There's only 1 day every year and a half without moons in the skies, unless it's particularly cloudy. But even so, from time to time you can see something behind the clouds. So that's a bit weird that there's no moon in the sky, and you know that it's not the day that there's not supposed to be any moons in the sky. That actually happened 2 weeks ago.
All right. I guess I would. So we finished meditating. We're talking now. I'm guessing by like a campfire or something, since it's about to turn night. And
there's no campfire.
Just on rocks.
There's no campfire, but there are a few magical objects maintaining light, especially around place where people would normally stay and watch the pond. So it's sort of a magical version of night lanterns, night lamps outside.
All right. So I'll go on and say, hey, Longshot. So what is this whole place about anyways? I know I just got here and I've gotten a gist of the place, but like, they pay us to go out and find stuff, or like, is it just for information? Do they just want knowledge? What have you figured out about this place?
Oh, well, they're pretty open about everything. I mean, you can just ask anyone. They're really not here with any sinister design, or none that I've found so far. They're pretty forward about everything. They do from time to time say that they're not at liberty to divulge everything, mostly to protect us. And they have a limited amount of interference that they can do. Because there is something that they can't attract the attention of. I really don't know much about this, but they seem to be genuinely concerned about not attracting unwanted attention on our world. But that's about it. I'm guessing that they're going to talk to you more about this, because when we all came here, the first day was mostly like the one that you're having right now. They took us into the Arboretum. They told us that we could stay here for as long as we liked, And in a few days, there was going to be the handing out of the objects. Which, if you're here, I'm guessing you still have one. So probably tomorrow, they're gonna take you to Vault to get that object that you dreamt of.
So what was yours?
Well, it went with. He goes into a small purse and he pulls out a ribbon. You recognize this as the ribbon that he uses for this rope dart combat. It evolves over time, gains power. It's different for everyone. When he turns it around, you see patterns on the silk of this rope dart. And immediately you recognize a lot of things that interest him. You see depiction of mountains, of epic battles that happened long ago, and an image that you're not sure what this is. To you, it just looks like some sort of creature represented in it, but you've never seen it. And you see that he intentionally places his thumb over part of it, as if it was something extremely personal for him, this part. But for the rest, it really fits with his personality. He really always enjoyed living in the altitude of the temple. And every time you found him in the library of this temple, he was always looking at old and ancient epic fights, wars that happened long ago. You know that he knows a whole lot about the two large war of the Shattered Continent, the War of Aberration and the Corunal War. So, and if it fits him, you can't help but to wonder what is he hiding under his thumb. But the way he's doing this sort of tells you that this part is slightly personal.
Okay. I put my hand on his shoulder and I'll say, it's good to see a friendly face again from back then. I hope your travels weren't too hard. And I think... Wait, so are we staying here, or should I try to? Yeah, I could stay here.
Oh yes, definitely.
I'd say I think I should probably try to find my friends and see how they are doing at the moment.
All right, and don't worry. Tomorrow, after you receive your object, if it's gonna be anything like with us, they're going to give you a choice of having a permanent home here. A place where you can always stay and it's always free. The food is not free, but it's generally half price compared to everything else you'll find anywhere. And they have a variety of food from all over the Shattered Continent. Some of these things I've never even seen before.
All right.
And
well,
they're going to give you an orb. I'm pretty sure, and he shows you the same exact orb that you saw Fisher and that you saw Audience and Remy and Jord have on them and speak into them. If you decide to stay, they're going to give you one. And this is how we communicate, and can even be used for a emergency transportation if the needs are dire. Well, technically you can use them anytime, but they do insist on using it only for emergencies, as there's special element relevant to this.
Okay, that should help out a little bit. I think I need to get a little bit of rest. I'm kind of tired from the long day that I've had and the long weeks that I've had.
Yeah, I gather that. Being captured, huh? And then used for prey? That most likely hasn't been very fun.
Yeah, it wasn't so much of a good time. Having to run almost all the time. Seeing
Well,
other people die that I've made friends with and stuff like that. Well, not really friends, acquaintances that kept me alive.
well, that part is
Um,
pretty much still gonna happen. But at least you're gonna be running for a good reason.
yeah, that is true. That is true. And from what I hear, I guess the garden's even running themselves. So we'll see.
Well, I don't think they're running exactly. It's hard getting information on that. It feels like they were allowed to come here under very restrictive condition. One of them being not to draw the attention of something. That's really as much as I know.
All right. Well, thank you for talking with me and catching up.
All right, oh, no problem. Your friends are most likely either already in their room or in the tavern. Most people end up there.
All right. So off to the tavern we go. You want to join me?
Sure.
All righty. And I start I start heading in the wrong direction.
That's gonna take a long while if you want to go in that direction. I mean, the garden is a huge ring on itself, so eventually you're gonna get there. But you're going toward the commercial district. Um,
Oh, okay. Well, then you lead the way, cause
okay. And he starts getting you to follow him, and he doesn't enter the forest. And as he tells you, as you're moving, the garden is essentially a huge forest, indoor forest. And there's a ring around it. And all of the different quarters of this garden are placed in that ring around it. And the inside arboretum is over a mile long in any direction. It's
okay.
If you want to have a picture in your mind as a player, imagine Central Park but round. That big.
All right. All right.
That's the center of the garden. That place is called the Arboretum. And all of the quarters are placed around it. You have a commercial district, you have a knowledge district, you have a barrack, a command district, and a residential district. So residential is where everyone's quarters are, and there are several taverns, including a very large one where most people go at the end of the day.
Hmm.
And
We got
it's on several levels.
Dante's Inferno going on here.
Each and every quarter has several levels, and sometimes you'll find different things on different levels. But
All right.
as he tells you, it's part of the interesting thing is to explore this place. But I do recommend to not go into the gnomish workshop alone if you've never been there before.
Will do. Will do. I'll keep that in mind.
It takes a good while. Goodness, who's here? Oh, okay. It takes a good while before you actually get to the tavern. You walk for a good half an hour. Nearly 20 minutes of those are inside of the park, of the arboretum, and when you get to the side, you find a warden there. He lets Longshot pass immediately, but Longshot stops and waits for a moment as the warden turns toward you and just say, "Will you be going to your room right away, or would you rather go with your friends on the tavern?"
I'll be going to the tavern first, and then my room after.
Very well. Since you haven't been here before, um, well, you haven't brought anything, but everything that would have been taken from you would have been in your room. And all you need is ask a warden, and you will be shown to your room. This room will be yours, and you are the only one who can enter it, unless of emergency. But even so, only wardens can enter a room without permissions.
All right, sounds good.
Very well. And he gracefully bows and lets you in. You make your way. Longshot brings you to the tavern where you find yourself, because you've been meditating for a while, because there was this conversation, well, several conversation. You find yourself arriving in this tavern, this multi-level tavern. And there's probably at least half of the people in this room look like adventurers. You can recognize a lot of them. Some of them are those that you encountered when you left the mountain. Some of them you've never seen before, and they just look. They have the general look of an adventurer. But one thing is clear, as they are from every walks of life. Some are clearly poor. Some were clearly poor. Some were clearly very rich right at the start. Some look extremely experienced. Some look even less experienced than you. But everyone in this room seems to be talking and doing as if nothing came in between this. Sort of this strange place where you can see a dwarf talking with an orc. Something that would never happen anywhere in the world unless forced.
I just realized that I'm still wearing the cultist robe.
They're very accepting.
Yeah. I will enter in and start looking about for my allies. First audience.
Well, audience is one of those person that is generally not hard to find. There's only a handful of people in the garden that are as tall as audience. One of them being Fisher, so you have a relatively easy time finding your friend in the middle of talking and sharing a few things and listening into the conversation around them. You do notice that audience is slightly distracted by some females, more specifically, that are talking and doing stuff inside of this tavern. But generally, they're all talking there. It's sort of odd arriving in this place. Sort of looking at these families of people that would never even talk to one another outside of the adventuring world. But in here, no one's killing anyone. Well, you do see someone punching someone from time to time. But you are told immediately as you enter this place and you see someone punching someone else. There is a warden in one of the entrance. Do not worry. Displays of aggression are tolerated, but not killing. And he also looks at you as if to say, is that understood?
Yeah, I'll nod and continue looking for them.
Like I said, it's not hard. I'd say a third of all the tall people in the garden are sitting at the same table, and it's Fisher and audience.
Alrighty. I'll walk up and say, hey audience, it's been a while, hasn't it?
I mean, I saw you earlier today, but
Well, I mean, I've been gone in that garden place for a little while, but how's everybody doing? Is everyone good?
Yeah. Yeah, everyone's doing well. How are you doing? How are you getting acclimated to the garden?
It's going good, even though I look over at somebody getting socked in the face. I'm like, even though it's a little rowdy, I'm getting used to it. Not used to so many friendly faces.
Yeah, you know, it's a great place. A lot of adventures, good townsfolk. Everyone here, no one will stab you in the back. I think. Maybe.
I think.
There,
Yeah,
there's
that's
this
good to
one.
know.
There's this one goblin guy who is a little sus, but
All right, all right. I'll keep an eye out for a goblin-looking guy.
oh, you won't see him. He'll just
I won't
appear.
see him. All right, all right.
Raimi just casually bird whistling during this part of the conversation.
I bow to Jorg. I'm like, hello, Fisher too. Is he still slow motion or is he good now?
Nah, he's mostly back to his normal speed. Still
I bow to him. I'm
emotionless,
like, good to
but
see you again.
still emotionless, but normal speed.
Good, good, good. I bow to everyone. Hello, hello.
Have they given you your artifact yet?
They said they would be doing that in a day or two, tomorrow maybe. So we'll see what that's all about pretty soon.
The artifacts are cool. They do cool things.
Yep.
They can be.
That's what I heard from my friend. And behind me, as I kind of like unsheath him because he's like shorter than me, you see Longshot. You've probably seen him before, probably.
What's up, Longshot?
Well, apparently
Connor.
you. Good lord. You're really tall talking right next to you.
Yeah. Longshot was not one of the first, but definitely one of the kind of first people I met at the garden. He was sparring with Amiali actually. I think when I met him,
I still
he was
have
getting his ass kicked.
I still have a small thing in my neck since that. She can hit.
I see, I see. So you guys are acquainted. That's good to know. That's good to know.
Yeah.
It's
He
like-
handed me a large sack of gold. Half of it was actually meant for you, but you weren't there.
Oh. That's fine. That's fine. I guess they're gonna reward me for the maps and book I gave them of the dwarf city.
Nice.
So I should be fine once I get back to my room.
It's good.
Smart thinking to take it.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I didn't just want to leave it there. I mean, leave it in the place I found it. But so are we gonna share some drinks, or are we just gonna sit here and?
Absolutely. Let me buy my friend his first drink in the garden. Let me raise my bartender. What do you want?
Wine or ale, anything. I suppose I haven't tried
There are
anything here.
more
What's
varieties.
the best thing?
There are more varieties of everything that you even imagine possible. There are names for alcohol that you have no idea what this is. You've never even heard of it. Some of them come with a little warning that they go beyond pure alcohol.
Huh.
There are dishes that you didn't know that could be a name for a dish. You didn't know that was a
Okay.
name for an animal used for a dish. Longshot wasn't kidding. They have a variety that extends to all of the Shattered Continent.
I will take the brooch off that I've been wearing since the beginning of the campaign, and I will say, can I get some alcohol made of this? And I show it to the guardian behind the counter, right? Or behind the...
The warden? Yeah.
Yeah.
So what is the brooch made of?
It was this... It was like this nut or something, I think. I don't know. I don't remember exactly how we described it. One second. Let me see if I can find it.
Hey, we have chaotic calling.
Hey.
What's up?
So enemies, no. Okay. So, yeah, no, I
Raimi's
forgot what it
learning
was
some new
called.
sounds today.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like native to where I live around. It's like one of the trees from around there. It's like one of their fruits or something like that.
The mistle?
I think so.
Oh, well, that's a fairly common fruit in the Mistle Island chain.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
Well, in that case, yes, definitely. What sort of alcohol do you want of this? There's quite a large variety of it, especially coming from your own island chain, but there are some varieties coming from other island chain as well. You have wine, alcohol, wine, ale. Some that I wouldn't classify as alcohol, but Dwarves seems to insist it is.
Okay. Some wine.
Very well. It goes around and here we go. If you don't mind, we will most likely deduce this from I've heard there is a significant amount of money delivered to your quarters because of the knowledge that you brought.
No. I got it. I got his round.
Oh, very well.
This
Very
one's
well.
on me.
Very well.
I bow to audience. I'm like, thank you.
Get me one on him too.
You know what? Around on the table. Around on the table for defeating the avatar of the hunter god, and although it does not seem he's defeated, we had a long journey through the mountains and we came out victorious. Fisher had his own thing, but he sounded like it was traumatizing, you know. And Fisher, I know you can't drink, but for the spirit of it, I'm getting you a drink anyway.
Okay. I mean, I can. I'm not going to, though.
What?
Seems the last thing I did. Just
All right.
recovered from.
Yeah.
Well, I guess as we get him, I'll be like, cheers to another day of living. And I'll put my glass up into the air and wait for the rest of them to cheers me.
Yeah,
Cheers
all
him.
cheers. How much do I owe, by the way? Drinks.
So this
You got like this $300 wine. It's like
It-
50
it's-
gold.
It's common, so it shouldn't be too pricey.
yeah, it's fairly common in the Mistle Island chain. So I'd say that the entire table is covered with 2 golds. Everyone got a good pint of it.
Okay.
So as you're all drinking to this, Fisher, you have someone coming for you that you sort of had this moment of, oh yeah, I forgot about him. You're surprised as you have this drink in your hand and Tobiyashi just gave this cheer about living for another day. You have Core that arrives and just puts his arm around your shoulder and squeezes your head slightly. Talking about survival, how's you doing, Metalhead? I've heard you've been to the Maelstrom a little bit. I was so looking forward to finishing that duel of ours. I guess you barely managed to get out of it alive, huh?
Yeah. Good to see you again here.
I kind of look over at audience. I'm like, is this a friend?
This is the man who killed me and
Wait.
has promised to do so again the next time we meet outside of the garden.
I see.
Well, actually, I don't
Luckily,
remember killing you, but sure, if that's what you remember.
Yeah, we pulled we got a little lucky there, but
If you remember correctly, time was turned.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, you died, but it's not part of the time
Do you doubt
that
it
you that
would
was
have
kept.
ended that way, Core?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, that's what I
If they
thought.
hadn't interfered. They were a bit disappointing. I hunted them all almost within the hour. Disappointing.
Mhm. Mhm.
Was the other party all right? Core, the Bertrand.
Oh yeah. They were all very fine. They had a few injuries, but nothing too bad. Actually, one was rushed to the infirmary. He was missing an arm.
Oh, who was that?
One
I
of
kind of
those.
just quietly study him while I'm drinking.
One of those nameless guy. I actually don't see him in the room right now. I mean, how memorable can you be if you get your arm cut in the first serious fight that you have?
Well, I guess I was gonna offer him my condolences, but I guess
Don't
he's
worry
not
about
here,
it.
so.
That little fellow, half pint something, grew his arm back.
Yeah.
Actually, he's pretty dangerous. As long as you let him use magic.
Fair enough.
I'll just say it can't be too dangerous when you're knocked out.
You'd be surprised. There have been some creatures that I've seen that are very interesting, even when they're unconscious.
I mean, last thing we rendered unconscious exploded afterwards. It was pretty dangerous.
Interesting.
That is true.
So I hear you're the new one here. And he looks at you.
Yes, my name is Tobiyashi. I bow to him. But I bow to him and look up instead of just saying face down disrespectfully.
You recognize the way that this person moves and walk. He has a very similar style of movement and way of keeping alert to everything that goes on in room as Tesul. So most likely of the same class, a blade master. Meaning he is at his most dangerous when he has his blade with him.
Mm-hmm. All right. Okay. Well, it's nice to meet you.
Well, I don't know if it's nice or not to meet you. You haven't done anything worth mentioning yet.
I'll just take another drink of what I'm drinking.
In case you hadn't noticed, Toby, we don't like him very much.
Yeah, I kind of noticed.
Ah, that's almost mean. I like you.
Not from what you just said.
Sensitive beginner warriors. I don't know. I think you're more like the monistic type. Yeah, all right. Well, I'll leave you to your tales of adventures. Sorry, couldn't say this without keeping a straight face. And you here, leave, go away.
What did he look like?
It's an orc. He is
An orc, okay.
He is muscular, fit. You have the feeling that he can plow through a wall if he wants to.
I see.
In terms
Paul
of
was the name of his previous wife.
You've lived a pretty sheltered life. However, you have seen a few monks being very dedicated to their way of life. And so, although it's hard putting him into a mold that you know of, you've heard about mercenary like him. Highly specialized warriors, very close to the monk way of living. Probably the monk that would resemble them the most is the Kensei monk. But they decided, their entire order decided to shift this attention toward the blade itself, to the point that the blade itself is alive. It cannot be broken unless the person wielding it, dies.
Okay.
And you know from reputation, they thrive in war conditions. So he has earned every bit of respect and power that he has. Nothing was handed down to him just for the fun of it.
Well, if he's here, he got an item that was kind of handed down to him. But besides that, I will. After he leaves, I'll kind of look to everyone else and like, so is he someone we have to watch out for when we're out and about?
Fisher does.
Yeah, I do. You guys don't have to worry about anything.
We don't want to help Fisher with that, or
No.
I assume that he will kill Fisher, and then we will unfortunately have to use a spell to bring Fisher back if we run out to
Yeah.
him in the wild.
That's a pretty solid assessment. Really, the important thing is if we do run into him and shit goes down, don't interfere, because if you do, he'll kill you too.
Yeah.
I will
Yes,
keep that
Toby.
in mind. A
He
lot
may
of stuff
piss-
to learn.
He may piss you off, but I'm telling you right now, I've seen him fight, and you will not win against him. Do not rise to his barbs.
All right. Sounds good. Good luck, Fisher, and
The nice thing
That's
is
good.
he's promised not to do it here, so it's only, outside.
Well, actually, the word that he used was the warden said that the garden is hallowed ground, so he will not violate this.
Yeah.
You think a warden could take him?
Not one of the small dudes, but they've got some big guys that maybe a couple.
Okay. All right. Well,
He said they would be an interesting fight in a quote from actually Kor himself.
Yeah.
I see. Well, that's kind of exciting. Let's just continue to relax. I'm glad that that's over.
Mm-hmm.
Well, all of this is happening. Jorg and Remy, you've been most silent. Is there anything you'd like to add, say, do?
Actually, you know what? I like to think that there was like a whole side conversation happening between the two, as well, conversation-esque, as Raimi would have turned to Jorg and kind of like cupping his hands a bit. Minor illusions, a small nest.
Small nest.
And then he points at you.
Are you asking where I'm from?
Raimi nods.
I'm from another island chain. I made some enemies over there and abandoned it.
Looks like you found yourself in deep shit, haven't you?
Yeah. Yeah, I got myself into some pretty deep shit. But so far it seems like I've left that shit behind. More or less. What about you?
Hold on, Raimi reaches into his coat, pulls out a dagger, and just gently wraps your hand around it and puts it to your chest.
Oh my.
And then minor illusions a pillow.
Oh, thanks. I will sleep with this under my pillow. Maybe I should. But now I've got a fierce guard dog.
I am going to be so eager to see how Terry will have interpreted that gesture tonight.
Yeah, Terry's just sitting with the box open, right?
Well, that's how you left him. So basically,
Mhm.
whenever you're pointing in the direction, you sort of see him look in that direction, and then he sees Raimi handing you a dagger and putting it to your chest. Yeah, that's gonna be interesting.
I did learn my lesson.
Is a 15 good enough to clock that?
Well, yeah, Terry's not trying to hide anything. He's reacting as best he could. He can.
I'll lean across the table and grab his box and pull it away from the two of them.
As Jork and Remy are talking, you see the box just go. Alright, keep on talking. Well, you don't have to if you don't want to, but
Yeah.
but Raimi didn't. I'm like, is Pupper around right now? Or
Yeah, he'd be on the floor, probably waiting for scraps to fall. If he cares about scraps.
every time,
Fill him up a bowl.
every time, because you have such a high perception, Remy, every time you see Jorg put something in his mouth, you see the dog just go. And then there's a bit that falls on the ground, and you just go.
Ooh. I can sense his senses, right?
Yeah. If you.
Yeah. Give me a second. I'm gonna I say that to Raimi and I take a nice succulent piece of meat and I feed it to him and then I try to sense his taste to see how much more it is.
Well, one thing that you are certainly previewed to is the fact that he has a sense of smell and taste that is so much more developed than you. There's a moment of you let it fall on the ground and then you go into his eyes and you catch the last moment of this, you and you have this idea of food, it's good. And you feel what he feels when you take a good sniff of it. It sort of fills all of your mind to the point of you wonder how he can manage to stay focused on anything when small smells like this that for you are just interesting, but for him it just completely fills his mind, and you feel nuances in this food that you've never felt before, almost to the point of being able to identify the different herbs that have been used to spice the meat. And then finish eating it like a dog. Is there more?
might just have to eat good berries. Feed all my meals to my dog from now on. No, anyways, yeah, I was a herbologist, more or less, back where I'm from, but ultimately I tried to bring an herb that was strictly controlled wrongly from that island chain to another, not necessarily this one, against the wishes of my god. And yeah, I was for a while abandoned by her, and I was forsaken on the Missile Island chain for a while until I redeemed myself. That's where I'm from.
Raimi just doing his best to reach his arm up and just pats you on the head.
Thanks, Raimi.
So Jorg is a drug dealer. Dang, the more you know.
I told you there are people from all walks of life in the garden.
I see.
Alright, well, as the evening keeps on going like this, and everyone has something to do with someone, Jorg probably from time to time looking at what your familiar creature is feeling and sensing, and maybe even Remy at some point seeing that how Jorg seems to like it so much, maybe Remy is gonna try and do it with his own cat.
Although actually, that does remind him, this is long overdue. So Raimi will order the finest seafood that this tavern has to offer.
All right. Well, let's.
And put it in a convenient dish.
Well, if you really order the finest of the finest, you find yourself in front of a platter of. Well, it looks like seafood. You've never seen it before. Colors of purple and red, and something green and something black. You're not sure what they are. They do look like some sort of underwater plant, but it's all from under the sea. You get the feeling that the Mistal Island chain and the island chains around it are not the place where the finest seafood can be found. But it is brought to you.
Yeah, so then Raimi with a wave of his hand will appear into existence.
If you're wondering, Tobiashi, that is the name of Raimi's cat. With
The ring?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is his name.
Remy is a kenku, so he can duplicate sounds. So that's the name of his cat. The bell around his neck.
Okay.
So, because Tobiashi's never seen your cat before, what does Twinkling Bell looks like?
He is officially his breed is like a snow Bengal cat. But if you don't know what that looks like, I guess you can kind of imagine like what a white tiger would look like, but much smaller. Well, no, I wouldn't say tiger. Probably a bit closer to like a cross between like what you would get with like a leopard and a tiger, but with white fur and black stripes and kind of like spot-like dealies about them.
Okay.
So
All right.
Sort of like a white mountain lion.
All right. Okay.
Basically a audience's mount version that is small instead of large. And all white.
Hmm.
And it has a little bell on its collar, which apparently doesn't always ring.
Hmm. Okay. I see the cat eating. I will, after realizing everyone's like playing with their pets or something like that, I will think, huh?
Oh no, God.
I will think, huh? I wonder what would happen if I bring out the ball and I'm going to pour some alcohol into it and see what happens. See what kind of vibrations he gives me this time. Or it. I don't know if it's a guy or a girl yet.
It's an elemental. I'm pretty sure it doesn't have a sex. I don't think elemental
So it's
creature.
just a thing.
I don't think elemental creature reproduce sexually. So, how would it react?
Otherwise, we'd be seeing a lot of scary elementals out there.
You're breaking all the fanfic's hopes and dreams.
Oh yeah, no, don't worry. There's gonna be some interesting stories about feeding alcohol to a elemental creature. All right, so
Okay.
technically alcohol is a poison. So, all right,
Uh-oh.
you pour a little bit of alcohol inside of the ball, and it waits for a moment, and sort of a vibration that you've learned to interpret as I like it, but not a lot.
Mm-hmm. All right. Sounds about like alcohol. I will. I'll just leave it on the table to sit with everyone and listen to them talk.
Okay. Well, from time to time, you see the creature inside the ball just leaves, and he sort of becomes this misty snake type of creature that is really made out of cloud and dense.
Fog.
Yeah. Just move, snake, go inside the glass and come out. Go inside and come out and come back in. And after a while, you do notice that there's some sort of reaction from the ball. But it just seems to be dripping something.
Okay. All right.
I don't like where this fanfic is going.
I will finish my drink and I will order another one for myself and for Longshot because I forgot he was with us.
Ah, well, the conversation has been lasting for long enough. He probably went away.
Okay, all right. Then yeah. I'll order another drink for myself and continue to drink. Enjoying the peace that I haven't had in forever.
It's so long, yeah. All right, well,
And I start to try to, since it's turning into like a form, I guess I'll try to like pet the snake thingy just a little bit.
it's sort of weird. The only way that you would be able to quantify this was by saying, well, you've seen him turn into different elements depending on what you feed him. You've seen the fire more than once. You remember seeing thunder from the person that you took it from. But as best as you can qualify this, he is now a beer elemental for a little while.
Nice. Beer elemental.
Actually, it's wine for you, so he's
wine,
a wine
yeah,
elemental.
Wine elemental. All right.
He's technically oozing
drippy.
poison, but it's so mild, you'll probably have to drink it to be to have any effect from that.
All right, all right. And I think that's about it. I'll continue listening to the stories that everyone else is talking about, looking around the room, making sure no one's going to run up on us. Still kind of iffy about everything.
You hear a whole lot of stories coming from so many different people. You catch one, apparently something about the last big event that was in the tavern being a fight involving someone using chairs for divine smites. You hear a lot of comments about the various musical performance that have been placed here in the last day. And of course, you hear something about Neisa, which is a female bard in this place, because whenever she plays, the entire room just goes quiet and listens. From what people say, you gather that she is an extremely proficient and well-known bard. You quickly recognize some people that are a bit louder. Audience probably being among them because he's a Dragonborn. You do notice two other Dragonborns that do seem to be also a bit loud. Kor is unapologetically loud. Other than that, aside from the occasional person that just seems to have taken just a little bit too much to drink, among the adventurers, the other seems to be either normal or not excessively loud while talking. There are a few residents of the place, a few gnomes that just starts at one point rambling on about things that you have no clue what they're talking about. It's just something extremely technical and arcane.
All right.
But that's about what you hear, just taking in all the sounds around you and all of the conversation, while audience and Fisher are probably talking about combat, and Jorg and Remy talking about their past, and occasionally Fisher paying attention to Terry.
Audience and I are doing a play-by-play of the fights I missed.
Yeah, pretty much.
Interesting not hearing audience talk about the dragon for a while.
Don't worry, there's probably a few places in there where he says something like, thanks to the dragon, he saw the enemy trying to ambush him on this attack, and
All right.
and thanks to the divine intervention of his god, his smite destroyed the creature in a single hit. It's a paladin. His god is part of his everyday life.
Mm-hmm. All right. I'll look to everybody else again while they're telling stories. I'm like, you guys want another drink?
I'll take another drink.
All right. I will order everyone another round of drinks of what I'm drinking.
Remy, during the night, you do notice one thing that is, for you, normal, and you get the impression that your master has wished you to see this. As everyone is just talking around the table, you see the goblin arriving, looking at you, looking at Tobiyashi, and while he's listening and talking, you just see him unhook this scroll case that he has, opens it, closes it, hooks it back, slide the ball, look inside of it, gives a threatening look to whatever's inside. It doesn't dare come out. put it back on the table, looks at you and just go, "Ugh." Then he just walks away, uninterested. None of you've seen this, unless you can actually beat on your passive perception a 29.
Yeah, dude.
I'm drunk right now, so
Easy.
I probably would not.
And he makes a mental note of something he needs to prepare tomorrow.
I can get a 19. Is a nat 20 minus 1.
Your intuition says something happened, but that's as far as it goes. You just look around and... Yeah.
Although, unfortunately, Raimi's just thinking to himself, of course he found nothing on easily the poorest member in that whole table.
You get the feeling that he was there because there's a new member. He wants to know what's inside this new member. And he just did.
A scroll? Doesn't my scroll have nothing on it unless I ask it to?
That's why he didn't find anything.
Okay.
But the point is, he took it away from you and you never even noticed.
Yeah, I'm ordering drinks. I'm on my 4th drink now.
We're getting hammered tonight.
Well, he is.
Yeah, we
I am
just got
drinking-
back from,
Yeah, I'm drinking more than you guys thought I would drink.
Audience,
fair, like,
audience know
4
that he
drinks
can...
for audience is like nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
And
I was just getting started.
of course, Tobiyashi,
I'll try to keep up with audience.
you try to keep
God.
up with audience, and you're looking him trying
Calm
to,
down.
from a distance, keep up with Amiali on the other side of the room. Every time she orders a new drink, he orders a new drink. But you sort of remember a few things about Monk. One being that after a certain point, they're completely immune to poison. And so she can drink
Yeah.
all night, and she's only going to need to go pee at one point, and that's all. That's as worse as it gets for her. Audience!
Okay.
Not so much.
Yeah, I keep drinking.
That's an interesting chain.
every so often, pouring some for the elemental, and then maybe some for Jorg's dog. But he doesn't see. He doesn't see it.
all right.
He tastes it, but he doesn't see it. It's fine.
Let me actually see how drunk audience gets, because audience might do something if he gets drunk enough. So let me roll a con real quick.
If I'm on like,
I want to roll one too.
Oh,
probably
audience
4
is
drinks.
fine. Audience rolled 18
con
plus
save?
5. Yeah, I'm a 23. Audience is chilling. Audience is not drunk yet.
Jorg is tipsy. You got a 13, so he's pretty drunk.
So after a single glass, you start showing that you have a weak stomach.
Oh,
I have
oh
a
no, he's had a
15.
couple.
I have a 15.
You're doing
so
okay.
He's
I'm
on the
doing
second.
all right.
All right.
From 4 drinks,
so he's-
not
he's-
drinking for
he's
a long
tipsy.
time.
All right. Well, then in that case, let's go with Constitution. Audience, your Constitution... Here, we're going to go like this. Would allow you to drink 2 full glass without having to start making Constitution saving throw.
Well, I thought we were on 4.
Oh.
So.
So Jorg, because he has such a high Constitution, would be able to go all the way up to 4
Okay.
before having to make
Alright.
Constitution saving throw. Tobiyashi, 2 without having to start making Constitution. And if you want to know where
Yeah,
I'm
I
getting
made
those
it.
numbers, it's your modifier, your Constitution modifier.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
So yeah, I made mine. It's a 15. I think we're doing good.
So
Yeah,
you're
I'm in
after
minus
3
23.
drinks. After audience 3 drinks, if you want to go on your 4th, you're making another Constitution save because you're starting
Oh,
to.
I guess I have to make a second one. Fair enough.
Let's go. I'm down to make a second one.
yeah.
Good lord.
Fourth
Jorg will
one.
make a second one.
I'm at a unnatural
Ooh.
20.
Oh,
I'm still fine.
yeah.
That one.
Sharks
Oh no.
gone.
Jorg
got a
just drinks a
10.
4th and gets hammered instantly.
4 and he's gone.
I'm getting really tipsy now. I got a 10.
So Jorg, you drink that fifth mug, and whoa, the room starts spinning a little bit. You know that you're at your limit. If you keep on going, you're gonna need help going back to your room.
Party never ends, Jorg.
Party never
I
ends.
know.
You guys ready to? You guys want to take a shot of something?
Jorg rolled a pretty low wisdom check. So yeah, he'll take a
The
shot.
alcohol is starting to affect him.
Alright. We're doing shots.
Oh, good.
I'm kind of drunk, so I'm like, you choose, audience.
Alright. What's something that looks
What's
strong?
the thing that?
Well, because of everything you went through with Amyali the first time, you are intimately aware of different strength in alcohol, going from what human call the strongest that it can get to what dwarves and dragonborn qualifies as the strongest that it can get.
We'll get a good dwarven dragonborn strong shot for everyone.
Okay.
Alright.
Uh-oh.
So as audience arrive and gives you all of this, that would be Constitution save. But since you're all already starting to be drunk, disadvantage.
I'm fine. I'm at a 20 on my lowest.
Well-
I'm fine.
Well, yeah, technically you have 1 point of exhaustion right now, so this is why you're all rolling at disadvantage for that.
Oh, fair enough.
Jorg got a 6.
Audience, you haven't failed the save yet, so you do not have a point of exhaustion because of alcohol.
Oh, I have not. Okay. Well, then
Alright.
I got a 22.
You sort of got used to this. Jorg, what did you roll?
6.
The room, it's not just the room that's spinning. It feels like you are spinning as well, but in the opposite direction as the room.
Oh man.
You've never tasted
see what I
something
got?
like this. Tobiyashi, what did you roll?
It was gonna be a 19 plus 2, but now it's a 1 plus 2. So I got a natural 1.
So basically what happened...
Toby just downs the
Hammered.
shot and passes out.
That's probably what happened. Jorg, you have time to feel the burn of that drink. You see audience just drink it down, look at all of you confidently. Jorg, when you drink it, immediately you've never tasted something that powerful. You know what 100% alcohols should be. You use that to sterilize some stuff when you want to heal people properly. So you smelled it, and you were confident that was as high as it could go. But no, that is a dwarven or dragonborn drink. They put stuff in this, which put this so much higher. Immediately, it feels like you just drank fire. Liquid fire. And everything in the room starts spinning in different directions. You know you shouldn't try and walk right now. But that's about as far as your mind managed to warn you about. Don't get up. Don't get up. That's a bad idea.
Alright, another round.
For Tobiyashi, you have the classic of the guy that just decides to take the shot and then falls, still in that position.
I stood up. I said, to the power of, ooh, and just passed out on the ground.
Alright. I'll turn to George. I think Toby's out. Are you still in?
Right now, you are intoxicated. You have 2 points of exhaustion due to alcohol. Don't worry, you recover from that faster than normal exhaustion. But still, you are starting to have a little problem talking properly.
I don't think that's a good idea.
No, it's a great idea. Come on.
It's a
We're having a
great
good
idea.
night. We're celebrating.
Do I need a key point to wake me up?
Fisher,
No, you're
Yeah, Jorg.
passed out drunk, Jorg.
help,
How are you doing?
help me.
Okay. Audience, I think Jorg's done.
Help me!
Audience is gonna go wander over to find some more heavy drinkers. Maybe a dwarven table. Maybe he'll go find Core.
I'll sling Jorg's arm over my shoulders and stand up. Like, okay, where's your room? And start leading him.
Yeah.
And then I wait, look back. Is Toby just passed out on the floor?
Oh yeah, and he's probably so drunk that he still has the same position as when he finished drinking.
Uh-huh.
He
I'm
looks
just
like
like,
a dead squirrel.
I'll walk back. How big is Toby?
See, I am.
How hard would it be for me to
130
just
pounds.
fireman him over my
I'm
shoulder?
5'10" and 130 pounds, so you could probably put me
Okay,
over.
yeah, pretty easy.
After everything he's been through, he's probably temporary at 110 right now.
Yeah.
I'll fireman him over my shoulder, and then also steady Jorg, and then walk back to the
Jorg,
living area.
Jorg, you're drunk to the point of having trouble walking. Every time Fisher just lets you go because he needs to hang on to something or just go up a flight of stairs, immediately the world starts spinning in different direction, and you're basically moving at half speed when you're trying to walk. And you think you're walking in a straight line, but everyone else sees that you're not walking in a straight line.
Yeah. Sounds about right.
As he picks me up, I'm sleep talking. I'm like, "Don't touch me there."
Now I feel uncomfortable about it.
And that's when Fisher just gently sets him down on the floor and leaves him alone.
Want to go home or not?
Well, the thing is that you don't know where Tobiyashi's room is, and he
Yeah.
doesn't know either. Voluntarily or
going
not.
I'm going to the living quarters, and then once I'm there, I'm going to try and find a warden.
Easy enough, and I would imagine it wouldn't be hard for you to ask about where his quarters are since you didn't drink anything. So
Yeah.
he offers you to get him to his chambers if you want.
Yeah. Thank you.
He picks him up.
Fisher.
And you see him walk down the corridor and at one point turn right and disappears for the evening. Audience, as always, you have a very interesting night. Jorg, you're in your quarters. Fisher, well, so far you've been to your quarters and you've slept in your quarters and you've slept in the park of the Arboretum. So, and you can always go back to the tavern if you want.
I recently had a nice sleep in the water.
That's right.
Just not this water, so I'm good for now. I'm gonna go back to my quarters.
My God.
What?
I just rolled 5 more 20s for 5 more drinks, and I rolled 2 nat 20s. A 19 and an 18.
An 82. What the?
Alright, well there goes all my luck for all my rolls and those 5 pointless nat 20s.
Meanwhile, Raimi has just stuck around, just like admiring in the distance, just like how much this marvel of a man can take.
Alright, I guess I gotta keep going until I fail. I'll tell you when I fail. No, that's an 8.
So every time you fail one, you gain a point. You gain a point of exhaustion. So you're
15.
pass out drunk when you reach 6 points of exhaustion.
Alright, what's
Those are
affiliate?
temporary,
below 10,
right?
Below or 15? Below 10 or below 15?
I'd say depending on the alcohol that you're taking, I'd say if it's normal alcohol, we'll go with 10. If you're going more and more into the Dragonborn and Dwarven, we're gonna go with 15.
Oh, man, let's see, 13. Okay, there you go, 13. Alright, I failed my first save at 13 drinks.
Damn.
For some reason, Core expresses that he's impressed by your progression since the last time you were here.
Thank you, Core. Yep. All right. I'm done at 14. I failed to save. So at 14 is my max. 14, I'm getting quite drunk. So I'll cut myself off at 14.
How many points of exhaustion have you accumulated when you reach 14?
2.
2? All right. So you don't have that much difficulty thinking, but everything is disadvantage on all ability check, and you're not walking in a straight line.
Yeah. I try and flash 14 fingers at Amiali as I leave, like, that's right, 14. Be impressed.
14. So
I'm
many-
getting better since the first time I met you. Training.
Training is what he calls it.
As you're there flashing these numbers at Amiali in her direction, and you just see her drinking another glass of something, you hear the voice of a dwarf going right past you saying, "Small fry," and he leaves.
Audience mutters something about, "You're calling me small."
Are you sure you want to know what happens next?
Yes.
You turn around when you say this, and you see that it is Coven who is there. He looks at you.
Audience goes, "I'm drunk. I'm sorry."
I'm
And it just
drunk.
walks
What's your
away.
excuse?
Yeah, what's your excuse?
So,
Make a persuasion roll for this.
No, that's a disadvantage.
Yeah.
15.
15. He looks at you. Gives a long sigh and walks away. He believes that you are not in complete mastery of your abilities right now, and this is why you try to insult his size. And you see him as he's leaving just go like this with a hand, and you see some magic disappearing from his hand.
Audience like, definitely that's the sign to go to bed. I was just died. Death almost just happened. Time to go to bed. I'm also still at 36 hit points. So I'm still feeling a little weak, a little beat up.
Is that blood? No, that's alcohol. That's blood. Alright, well, the evening goes by with everyone sharing, drinking, having a merry old time. Jorg and Remy, after how long do you go to your respective room? Well, Jorg, you're already there. Remy, you're the only one there. You're the only one who witnesses Audience doing all he can to break his previous record, all in the hope of impressing Amiali.
Like I said, he was mostly just like observing the whole time, you know, just seeing like, you know, again, just how much this Marvel man can pack it in. Like, doesn't matter if a dwarf can do better because it's not Audience.
All right, so
But
Yep.
but if nothing else, Raimi will try to stealthily make sure that the Audience makes it to his room safely.
you notice that he has a little bit of trouble going in a straight line.
Oh wait, hold on. I want to imagine just like going down the necessary Raimi just casually mage hands to help guide his guide himself so that he doesn't knock into any walls or anything.
Audience, you don't know why, but you're drunk. You know from experience you're not going in a straight line, but for some reason you always manage to avoid walking straight into a wall. It's weird. It's like something is helping you, watching over you. Why are you rolling 2d10s?
Hit dice to heal for a long rest.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
But yeah, once Raimi has ensured that audience makes it to his room okay, Raimi will go to his. That's what he.
So, Fisher, you're the last one probably to fall asleep. Are you going into sentry rest, or are you actually sleeping?
I'm asleep.
All right.
Had a rough time recently. There's a nice bed.
Yeah, you sit on it. You lie on it. For some reason, you don't even care that that Terranad is saying something that's probably slightly mean. But the only thing that comes into your mind is, right now, this is the safest that you've been for the past 2 weeks. Feels good. And then you slowly start to drift. Make a wisdom saving throw.
I got this. That topped off. Okay, get out of the... Sorry, I got too many dice in the tray. It keeps jumping on top of the other ones. There we
Too
go.
many dice, too many dice.
Sorry, that's not a thing. Yeah, 12.
12. Well, it's the best one you've rolled so far.
Yeah.
That's sad.
I believe you've rolled...
Rolled a whole lot of 0 through 4s.
Okay. So, as you're resting like this, doesn't happen very often, but at some point, you sort of open your eyes. Oh, okay. Well, the rest probably is over. But then you realize that you're in an empty room. There's not even any furniture in it. It's just darkness everywhere. But you're standing up. And you hear, coming from very, very far, sort of an echo, or the reverse of an echo. It starts very, very faint, and you're having a lot of trouble understanding what it says. But after a while, you do notice that, okay, it's their words, and they become sharper and sharper and sharper. And at one point, it hits you, almost as if someone has just slapped you. You hear what feels like a womanly voice just yell, "Help!" And you wake up on this word. You're just in your room.
Does it sound familiar?
You've never heard that. Never heard that before.
Huh. Guess I'll ask Terranad. Did you hear that?
Hear what?
Fair enough. How's Terry doing?
Oh, Terry, the worm, Terry.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Well,
I probably just would have opened his box and put it on the desk or whatever.
all right. Well, he's currently exploring the table. You see him go from one side to the table and slowly inch itself to the other side of the table up until there's nothing in front of him. Just see him turn his head in a direction, another direction. Then he goes to another corner and keeps on going like this for a while. Stopping a few times and during the night, looking in your direction, staring at you. Well, you think it's staring, but pointing in your direction for a moment and going back to moving about.
Well, I guess I will get up in the morning and I'll usher it back into its box.
It will easily go back into its box. The moment that you just touch his box, tap just one time on it to draw his attention, he immediately turns and starts moving toward the box. And as he enters the box, you see him exhale, and you smell something that feels a bit like field flowers. The kind of flowers that you find in mix flowers that you find in a large field.
Yeah, I'll pick him up and then I'm gonna go do a good old wake up call.
All right. Audience, when you go to sleep, you're not 100% sure how you got into your bed, but there's some gap in your memory. You remember going up the stairs, and you remember going the right direction. And every step of the way, there was this strange force that was helping you not bump into walls. And you remember entering your room. There are a few points there missing, but you remember realizing that you're in bed and eventually falling asleep. As you're sleeping, you also at one point open your eyes and you find yourself in a large dirt field. There's nothing around you. Your eyes starts focusing a bit and you look up. You see one of the moon in the skies. It's bright. Feels a little bit welcoming. Sense of feeling of familiarity behind this moon as you've seen it several times in your dreams. You can even swear that you see two eyes looking at you inside the moon. Then you feel the warmth of the sun rising in your back. And just as you're about to turn, you feel your body being yanked from where it is. And at what you see, the land, mountains, fields, forests, clouds, and you find yourself floating, looking at this strange ball around in front of you, mostly covered in water. with this large strip that feels like all dots of earth. Takes a moment and you realize that you're watching the world that you've been living in so far. Then you see the moon appearing right next to you. But you keep going. And you see the moon move in front of the world. And then you see right above it the sun. And then your perspective changes. You find yourself slung in the other direction. And you find yourself at the back. The sun at your back, looking at the world. And the moon slightly rising above it. And this is where you notice the difference. When the moon was in front of you, it was dark. When it was now that it is in front of you, moving away from the world that you know, light appears on it. Your mind tries to hold on to this, and you can't help but feel that strange relationship between the moon, the sun, and what you see when you're in the world. And then you hear this cavernous voice inside of you. Powerful, but not in a bad way. You just hear this cavernous voice says, "Do not be afraid of the truth." And it feels like you're being slung back to into your body, slammed into your body would be more accurate, as when you arrive where you were, you just wake up and going, you're in your room. You have a little bit of a headache, but that's to be expected.
I'll look up at the ceiling. All right. I'll look at myself and be like, all right, I admit it. I drank too much last night. That's the truth. I come clean. Not afraid of it. It's true. I can't drink as much as Ollie, no matter how hard I try. I'm sorry.
I get the feeling that the message was not completely registered. But that is the night. No one else is visited by dream, with the exception of Tobiyashi, where it's been so long that you almost forgot about this dream. But the dream that you kept having right before you got kidnapped, about finding yourself in this large room with so many people around you, and one of the wardens talking in front of the entire group, his arms spread. You recognize now everyone around you in the room. They're all of the people that you've met, that you've been talking to the previous night. And the warden in front is Ilithane, the one that is the keeper of the garden. The dream is exactly the same. As soon as the vault opens, everyone starts going in, and you go in and you find your way to this object that has been calling you since all of this has started. And you wake up, not in shock or anything, just, oh, been so long since you had that dream. Feels like a different life since the last time you had this. I think you're muted.
I get up and I will.
You have no clue where you are. You're in a strange room. Everything. You were pass out drunk when you got in that room. So you don't know where you are. You're on a bed. The walls are of a brassy color, and the frame of the door is of a silvery color. The wall is some sort of stone. Feels like marble. It looks like marble, but doesn't feel like marble. There is a single table. There is a bookshelf, and there's a place where you can put all of your clothes. On the table, there is a single orb. Right now, it is only emitting a very soft glow. Sort of like a night lamp. This is where you wake up.
Alright, I get up and I'll think to myself, I guess this is where I'm supposed to be. And I will go over to the orb and I will pick it up and put it I'll use my silk to make like a little satchel thing and just put it right in it. And then I guess just observes the room around me. Do I hear any knocking at the door?
No.
Nothing?
No. It's very zen. There's no decoration. Very clean also. It's basically a very standard room. You have a place to sleep. You have a place to put stuff in it. You have a place to put clothes in it. And you have a chair, which you can use to sit on the desk and do stuff that would require a desk.
Mm-hmm. I guess I'll think back to when they said that I would have stuff waiting for me in the room, and I'll look around for that. And then just open the door up after I find it and kind of peek out to see what the heck is going on outside.
Well, when you arrive next to where you think the door is, one thing you do notice is that there is no handle.
I kind of like push on it.
As you arrive close to it and you're just about to touch it, you see the door just recede into the wall. Just.
Oh. I kind of slowly, well, actually no. I just seen this thing shoot back. I'm gonna quickly walk on the other side of it, kind of like speedily to see if it like closes super hard.
It completely waits until you are clear of the door, and then it just reforms and covers the place.
All right. I'm just looking down the hallway, I guess.
Yeah.
Waiting for.
Well, I guess this is where we're going to take our break.
All right.
So, as you find yourself, I'd say, slightly anxious about what is going to happen, the camera fades to black, just as we see a figure approaching you. And we're going to be back in 15 minutes, which means that's easy enough to... so it's exactly 15. All right. So, see you all back in 15 minutes. Have a good break. Hello, welcome back. And this is an interesting moment to come back. As you can imagine, we talk during this break. So,
no, we were totally silent. We didn't say anything.
We all
were just
sit still.
We're just looking at each other.
We're actually very cordial and formal. Like when we're not on camera, it's very professional.
yeah.
Yeah.
As soon as the camera turns
All
on,
jokes and
just...
stuff. It's all an act.
we just keep rehearsing. All right, so let's go back in. We're gonna stop the campfire. All right, so everything's back. All right. So, as you come into consciousness in your room, as you look around, Tobiashi, as you find your way outside of your room, You find yourself in a long corridor, and as soon as you look around, you notice that there's a warden coming toward you.
I'm guessing it's morning now. I'll say good morning, and I will bow and say, so what are the plans for this evening?
Well, yes, it is mostly morning, although I believe you got up slightly earlier than everyone else because you got into bed slightly earlier than everyone else. Um, there was quite a lot of festivity in the tavern last night. I believe you took part in some of it, judging from your condition.
About the beginning half.
Yes, yes. Well, you'll have to be a little patient. Everyone is gathering everyone, since you are essentially a lost traveler. Everyone is being gathered so that you can enter the vault. And most actually volunteered for this. This is a rather unique event. Everyone is a bit curious about the new adventure and what was the object that was meant for him and no one else. So
I see.
you will not be alone in the vault.
Okay. Also, I couldn't find anything in the room that was like, as you guys said, payment for my research.
Ah, yes. Well, we weren't sure you were actually going to be here when you woke up, so it has just been withheld for a few moments. Since you seem to have left the tavern unwillingly, we did not want to assume anything. But yes, the payment is already available, and as soon as you come back from the ceremony, it will be in your room.
Yes, sir. Also, I have accepted to stay here as my home.
Oh, well, that is very fortunate for us. I will inform Illithane, and an orb will be made for you as soon as the ceremony is done.
Wait, then what is this one? And then I will take the orb out of the satchel thingy.
That is an orb for your room. It would have stopped functioning as soon as you left the garden. It is made to control the environment of your specific room.
Okay.
I'm mostly sure that you are familiar with some cantrips that some wizards use to brighten things, clean things, get things warmer or colder. Well, you can do mostly the same thing with this orb, but for your room and yourself. You can clean your room, clean yourself, change the temperature inside the room, and
Okay.
give yourself some light or darkness when you so desire.
All right. Is there anywhere that I could wait until we start the vault?
Well, many are not up yet. Like I said, the celebration lasted very late. So you have a little bit of time.
Okay, so when we do start, could you come look for me at the garden? I think I'm gonna go over there and exercise and meditate for a while.
In the Arboretum, you mean? Yes, of course.
Yes. All right, and then I start walking away, and I'm like, I stop, I look back, I'm like, which direction is that in?
Well, you will quickly get used to the garden path to wherever you want to go. In short, if you just keep on walking into the corridors, always straightforward, and he points in the direction that would be as soon as you leave your room, if you go right or left. This is sort of a ring. he tells you, you will go into all of the different quarters one after the other. By going to this direction, you will go to the tavern, then followed by the knowledge quarter, then the commercial quarter. And finally, you will find yourself in the garrison and in the command area.
Okay.
And this is the outer ring. If you want to go into the arboretum, all you have to do is go toward the center of the ring. No matter which path you choose, you will end up somewhere inside the arboretum. You might end up in the forest or in the fields or in the park, but you will always end up in the arboretum.
All right, sounds wonderful. Have a wonderful day. And I start to head off.
He bows as you leave. Takes a while. You get the feeling that this place is really big, but eventually you do find your way, and probably 15-20 minutes of walk, you find your way inside of the arboretum. And judging from where you were, you'd probably arrive in the park, although you can see the beginning of the forest from where you are. You see a few people walking about, just stretching. See a few gnomes talking. You see Ogonak just walking inside the park because you brought him in, but you didn't ask him to go back to his realm. So he's just walking about in the park, looking at different trees.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, you see Sarn, who is a druid and probably one of the weirdest one that you can find in the garden. Sarn being the short, the one that is the same species as the Sharoon, but doesn't have a mushroom hat, meaning he is either banished or clanless.
All right. I will take a walk into the forest and think about some stuff.
The forest is quite large. It is a good hour of walk to get from one side to the other. So you have quite a lot of room to walk in. There are paths leading different directions. As you walk down the paths, you do notice that a few other adventurers are up already, and some of them are sparring together. Some of them are just training alone. You do find a where is she? You do find a half-elven female wearing armor, but she has a bow and she is training with her bow. She does seem to know a few impressive tricks. As she's firing, one of her arrow at one point bursts into flame, hits a target, which then explodes.
Okay. I'll note that. I don't want to get hit by that. I'll continue to walk and just observe people.
Okay. Within the forest, you do find yourself at one point in front of a extremely beautiful elven woman, blonde hair, elegant in the way that she is dressed, and even in the way that she's sitting. She is just playing a gentle music that just seems to float in the air as you're walking by. From what you've heard, this might be Neisa.
Okay.
You keep on walking, and not far, maybe after 5 or 6 minutes, you find yourself in front of a turtle who is apparently meditating with a giant maul right next to him. He's just meditating.
I will, as I see him meditating, I'll go up to him I'll go up to him, not to bother him, and sit beside him and start to meditate as well.
Okay.
as quietly as possible.
You do notice that as you're approaching, he just opens one eye, looks at you, and closes his eyes again.
And I will meditate with him.
All right. During your meditation, takes maybe the first 35 minutes of your meditation. At the end of that, you see Sarn approaching again. But he is very, very deep in thoughts. He seems to be following something in the forest. Just going like this, and he just keeps walking in front of you.
That's the shroom, right?
Yeah.
As I notice it, I'll open my eyes and look at him like, is there something bothering you?
Oh, I don't think so. I'm just following the threads.
The what?
The threads. They're everywhere. You have one coming from you, but this is not linked to this one. There are several threads of fate here. I'm just following a new one.
Can I see what he's looking at? I don't see it at all.
You don't see anything at all.
I'll stand up and say, you mind if I come along?
I don't think so. You can come.
All right. I will continue to follow. I'll get up. Is the turtle still next to me?
Yeah, he's still there meditating. You get a feeling
I'll
that
say-
he's more used to this than you.
All right. I will bow to him and say, thank you. And I will go over and follow him.
He gives you a little bow as you're leaving. And you start following Sarn for a while. And you just see him following this thread, which he seems to be able to even touch from time to time. He just touches it, just rubs it between two fingers like this, and just keeps on walking. Then he turns around and goes down in a different path. Oh. Let's go in different directions now.
So is this somebody's life force you're looking at? A path to them?
No, this is the link that binds all people together. People that walks together. They bind. They share faith. You have one too, and he reaches up and he grabs something that's apparently right in front of you, and he pulls on it. You're not sure why, but you feel a compulsion to kneel down, as if something was tied to the center of your forehead, and as he pulls, it feels like something's pulling on you.
What?
See?
Where is my?
This is
Uh,
yours. And he lets it go, and you feel like this pressure has been relieved.
I see. I wonder if I'll be able to see them ever.
Well, it depends on where you go. I can tell that you haven't been to a lot of places.
That is true.
You've never even left this shard, so... Most of your friends have.
Can you see this one's line? And I bring out my ball and show it to him.
In front of public?
He's got long balls. You show it to him. He's, oh. You see him reach inside because the door is completely busted and scoop the creature out. This creature doesn't react at all. It's not aggressive or anything like that. Oh, you're a long way from home, huh? Your fate seemed to be bound to this ball. I think he's gonna want it repaired in some way, or maybe changed.
Oh, thank you for reminding me. I have to do that.
You're a lonely little fellow, aren't you? Oh. I wouldn't feed him alcohol too often. It seems to make him sluggish for a while.
That's good to know.
And he still smells like wine. I don't have anything against alcohol. It's a great way to preserve things, but it's not a very interesting smell to have on you.
I would agree.
And he just hands you back the creature. You've never seen your creature react so in such a docile way to anyone ever.
All right. I'll take him back and put him back in the ball. And do you know where I could get something like a new home for him?
I would imagine as soon as the industrial or commercial quarter opens, someone will be able to help you there. But I wouldn't go too far. I believe that they are currently gathering to finish your ceremony. This will probably happen in an hour or so. I think some of your friends are currently waking up right now. See, and he pulls again on the string that seems to be tied on you. And you feel again this thing pulling on your forehead. If you are very careful, you can feel the dragon one is currently waking up. He's had an interesting night. So is the mechanical one. Yeah. He lets it go and feel this pressure relieves from your head.
Thank you. I'll see you later. And I bow to him and I will walk off. Just going through the forest again. Maybe I'll start exercising, doing some push-ups and handstand push-ups and crouches, all that fun stuff.
All that fun stuff. You probably go through this for maybe 5 or 6 minutes before someone actually arrives, and you. Oh yeah, this is interesting. You couldn't react because you weren't there when this happened before. So, well, Tobiyashi was, but you weren't.
Yeah.
You see Amiali arriving, the main focus for audience's attention. And as she arriving, it's something that you noticed before, but because your soul wasn't in your body right at that moment, you were too shy to ask about this. But as you watch her approaching, you notice again the clothes she's wearing. They're completely black. They're monk clothes, but they're completely black. However, this is something you're not used to. You can see a faint silvery color in her clothes. A very familiar silver color.
As she's walking up, I'll say, hello there.
She gives
My
you a
name
bow.
is Tob. Yeah, she already knows my name, huh?
Yeah, technically she knows your name because she was there when you got all rescued, so she knows who you are. She looks human enough. She has silver hair. When she's fighting, she keeps it tucked in, but like this, it's mostly just down, and it reaches down her back. So it's long, silvery hair.
I don't think we've had time to formally introduce ourselves. My name is Tobiyashi.
Well, you did look a little distracted last time we met.
Yeah, I kind of was. I continue to just exercise. Your robes look very familiar for some reason. It's the silverish glitter. Would I say glitter?
No, it's sort of like a faint silver color deeply embedded inside the cloth that she's wearing.
It's the silver color reminds me of something.
Well, it comes from my master, the one that taught me the art of silk weaving.
Ah. And would you mind if I ask who that may be?
I believe you already know the answer to that question.
Well, so we have the same master, you're saying?
It's been a while since I saw him, but I believe so. You most likely are the latest student of his.
I would say the same. I haven't seen them in quite some time.
It is quite a wanderer.
Oh yeah.
It completely changed my life when I met him. It was a long time ago, and well, let's just say that my family history is one of turmoil and problem. So he helped put order back into all of this, and has shown me the way ever since.
Ah. It's about the same for me. He's changed my life for the better or for worse, as it may seem in the last couple of weeks. But overall, I think it's helped me out a lot. But I start to do, it's called, not yoga, but it's like Tai Chi, right? Is that what it's called?
Like the
Like,
slow.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I
Tai
start
Chi.
doing Tai Chi, and I'll say, so I've seen you made an imprint on my Dragonborn friend.
Well, he does seem quite.
Oh my god, dude, you can't just tell her that.
No. It's fine. It's a monk thing.
He does seem to be quite fascinated by everything I do. Kinds of remind me of a awestruck follower of a bard.
It's just something that I've noticed recently.
Well, he has been trying very hard to make himself notice.
I'm looking.
Well,
Really, really hard.
I'll be training here for a while, until the event starts.
Oh, actually,
I hear that he should be waking up pretty soon.
Actually, this is why I'm here. A warden saw me entering the forest, and I told him I could find you fairly easily. They are starting to gather all of the adventurers in the tavern if you want to rejoin with all of your friends.
That sounds like a good idea. You lead the way, and I'll change my cloths back into the pink that I have, the super light pink, since I'm not hiding or anything anymore.
Well, you had a feeling that she could see it.
Okay.
It is a special characteristic of all those following the way of the silk. You can actually see the original color of the silk. Even if they
Alright.
have completely masked it behind completely white or completely black, you can still see it. she goes back on the path, and as she's walking, she does hum a little music that, because of your master, you know that she's not actually humming a music. She is talking in the language of your master. Well, you know that his language is far too complex, so it's most likely something very simple, either like a mantra or a prayer.
Mm-hmm.
But your master does have an extremely musical language, so you recognize this.
Okay. I'll continue to follow her. I'm just looking around, observing everyone, observing my surroundings.
You see pretty much a lot of the same, although the Arboretum slowly seems to be emptying itself. You see a whole lot less people. But you do cross the path of Kor as he's slowly walking throughout this place. Oh, you're gonna get your object today.
That's what I've heard.
That'll be interesting to see.
Most definitely.
Come on, then. Let's walk a little faster. And he puts his arm around your neck and starts walking slightly faster. This is the moment where you feel like, oh goodness, he is strong.
It's gonna pop my head off.
And because you're right next to him, you do feel like he's doing this on purpose. He's making you walk faster.
Mm.
And he knows
All right.
it's on purpose. He knows this is not your normal walking speed.
I'll follow along
All right.
at his speed, I guess. Not trying to get bothered by it.
All right. So you walk, Amiali, and Kor, all the way to the tavern where, most likely, audience, Jorg, Remy, and Fisher have already gathered, unless you want to do something very specific in the morning, because as soon as you leave your room, you are greeted by a warden telling you that Jorg is going to go through his ceremony today. The same one that you all went when you arrived and got your object. You're not obligated to come and see it, but many
Not Jorg.
adventurers have chosen
not
to
Jorg.
honor this.
I was, no, oh.
Yeah, I was like, George's going through one too.
Was there, I guess, cert stuff in my room?
Not in your room, but you remember that you've been told to visit certain people the next time you came back.
Mm-hmm. All right, yeah. Then I will, I'll be there.
You actually have 2 places to visit, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So, do you all accept this invitation, or are you blowing off Tobiyashi and going your own way?
Yeah, screw that guy.
Screw that guy. Couldn't even get a single hit.
Jorg, you coming?
Oh yeah,
I will go as well.
Okay. Remy?
This is actually a hard call. Like, I'll roll a d20 for this one.
The audience is gonna be there.
Yeah, apparently.
Okay, so Tobiyashi gets advantage. Raimi attends.
Okay.
Advantage saved him.
Okay.
He thinks about it, and when the warden asks him, and his first thought is, nah, I'm not gonna go. I actually have some things to do. But then he hears at the a few rooms further, you hear audience say, "Yeah, I'll be there." All right, I'll be there.
All right, I'll be there, I guess.
So, takes only a
But,
moment. Yeah.
But Raimi will take at least the time to take a bath, a bird bath.
Yeah, because I was gonna say you can always use the orb inside your room, but yeah, if you want to take an actual bath like this.
Yeah, just like it's tradition. They've been on the road for a while, and just like and I think this time around he will use the of the because I think I've already done the cinnamon enough times.
Yeah.
Today he's going to smell like flowers with the flowery soap.
Okay. So, Remy takes the time to go take a bath inside in the arboretum.
Whistling a merry tune.
As everyone else is going to the tavern, Remy will probably be arriving a little bit late, but it's not that big of a detour, so he'll be there. So as you're arriving, Tobiyashi, you get practically shoved in the room by Core, who is walking at a pace that was slowly increasing as he's moving forward.
All right, I'll keep up. I'm keeping up. You know what? I'll challenge him. I start walking faster than him.
As soon as you do this, he doubles the speed, and you find yourself moving at a slow jog pace. He seems to be having fun.
Sprint now.
He seems to be having fun.
All right.
So
Make it in, I guess.
As you arrive in, Jorg Fisher audience, you're already there. You're already waiting for him. You see, there's a lot of people. Actually, the wardens weren't kidding around. A lot of adventurers have chosen to be there. A few people are missing, and up until Tobiyashi arrives, you thought that Core and Amiali weren't going to be there, but you see Tobiyashi being practically shoved inside because of the speed that they're walking with, and just a few paces behind Amiali's entering. As soon as you enter, Core lets you go, and he turns around towards whomever he can and just salute a few people. Arise in front of your group, especially in front of you, audience. Your friend, he's a bit tame. But at least there's hope for him.
He's had a rough go of it. I'm hoping he gets some of that spark and joy of life that I first met him with. Hoping I can help him bring it back into his eyes.
Yeah. I hope he is like that, because he's not going to be very interesting if he stays like this.
I smile a little bit after what audience said, and then I'll go to one of the people behind the counter and I'll say, "Can I get some breakfast?"
Sure. They're probably going to be a few minutes before everyone arrives. You have time to eat something. Is there something you actually would like?
A big plate of bacon, eggs, sausage, maybe some toast.
The classic farmer's delight. Of course, it's quite easy to do. Is there any variant of this that you'd enjoy? A different type of eggs or special kind of bread? Even
Make
the
it the size. No, just regular ingredients. Just make it the size for a dwarf.
All right.
I'm feeling hungry.
Very well, very well. Is your friend gonna be picking up the tab, or are you?
I'll pick it up this time. Thinking to myself, I'm like,
Do I or
No,
do
no.
It's your
I?
special
I'll
day.
do it. I'll do it. Yeah, I'll pick it up this time. He got me drinks last night.
All right. Where is the table for that already? Here it is. All right. In that case, it's gonna be a very impressive 2 silver.
I don't know how much money I have waiting for me, so because I have no money on me.
Oh, very well. We will deduce it from the amount of money that you will be given.
I basically have a tab at this point. All right, sounds good.
All right. Well, have a good meal.
Thank you.
Your friend is already eating something that comes from the
Italian region.
higher island chains. It's quite a strange thing. You know, it's a piece of bread with some cheese, and I believe it's some sort of meat on top of it.
It's kind of, I don't know if they have barbecue sauce, but chicken. Chicken is the meat.
All right.
I don't know if there's something similar to barbecue sauce, but
It's something that you saw on the menu, and for some reason, everyone kept saying that it's better cold in the morning. So that's exactly what you asked because you were really curious.
Seeing the plate of food for the first time, a big plate of food in a long time, I will start chowing down.
All right. Well, you see Tobiyashi wolfing down
munching.
a large plate of eggs, bacon,
Eating it really fast, like too fast.
as if someone was gonna just arrive and snatch the food right from his plate. It takes only a few moments, and then eventually you all get to see again this very familiar, except for Tobiyashi, moment where Elithane comes at the front, at the center of the room. That's right. It's a tavern. So at the center of the tavern, on the first floor, there's sort of a raised platform where a lot of bards will usually be when they want to play for the tavern. And as he is facing everyone, you do notice on the wall behind him the words "The Garden" written. You've seen this before. This is what you'd expect to find on a boat. Naming the boat. This is where it hits you for the first time. This is why on your invitation, "The Garden" was always written with capital letters. It is the name of the structure. This thing is a large ship of some sort.
Okay.
So he addressed everyone, and with the same word as before, greeting everyone here and greeting the lost sheep. As he says that, you hear Core just go.
I turn around with a mouthful of food. I'm just like, me?
And so, our last companion finally decided to join all of us and is going to go through the same thing you all did. You already all know the rules here, and I believe, from what I've been told, that Tobiyashi has already asked quite a few questions about the rule of this place. But, to answer any questions you might have had, this is a ship of exploration, and we are here to explore your world. This is why we value knowledge so much, and this is why you are welcome here, as all of you have shown talents, but also have taken the interest of this, and he shows a coin. And Tobiyashi, you recognize this as your coin. He looks at you and says, "You didn't think we would let a coin like this alone in your world, where it could be used to trace us back." He hands your coin back to you.
I grab it. I was like, didn't I have this? I look where I had it. I was like, where the?
They took it away from you when you were being interrogated.
All right.
It was one of the things that they interrogated you about. So they never gave it back to you. But apparently they didn't get to keep it.
Yeah. All right. I'll say thank you.
And so
Uh,
you're here because this summoned you.
Yes.
If you have any questions, we do have a few moments before we go to the vault.
I think to myself, no. The only question I have is when can we get started?
Very well then. Most of you already know the way, but follow me, please. And he starts walking and again goes into the only quarter that all of you have barely never visited at all. He takes you to the command quarter of the garden, into a room deep at the end of a corridor. You enter the room and once again you find yourself in the vault where you all waited until Elithane let you in. He goes in front of the room and looks at you, Tobiyashi. Well, since everyone already know most of what I will be saying, and I gather you already know part of this. And as he's saying this, he spreads his arms. And although it feels like this context is so much different than the first time you had this vision, you can't help but to look around and notice that nothing has changed from the vision. This is exactly the moment that you've been dreaming about. Almost making you think, was I supposed to be captured and find my way here after? Was that my fate? So
In
anything...
which case, fuck all of y'all.
You guys knew and you guys let me get cat. No,
And so we have all gathered to see what our lost companion was called here for. I know that many of you are still nervous, curious about what's inside, and if anything else calls to them. So I will let all of you go in again. Just follow your instinct, however. I am convinced you will find that nothing pulls your interest the way that it did before. And so I will let you in. And he steps aside and you see the vault open slowly. The door rolling on itself, sliding to the side. And you see inside a room filled with different objects. Immediately you see a few people rush inside and start looking inside, trying to find things. And you have this moment of, I know that this is mine, but I don't want someone to, just in case. Mm-hmm. And so, do you enter the vault? There is this thing inside of you that sort of pressures you. You know that something is calling for you inside that room.
I enter and start looking for what I seen.
You start looking around, and Jorg, audience, Remy, and Fisher, you all are also free to go back inside. However, when you enter the room, you all feel like none of this belongs to you. All of these things, they belong to someone else. Someone who might have been killed, someone who might have been lost. But they're theirs. And having your friend arrive here so late, but still have a place, you can't help but think, if I take this object that no one seemed to have claimed, will I be taking an object that have called to someone that is waiting for its destiny to arrive? If I take this object, will I be robbing someone of its destiny?
Who gives a shit? Give me it.
Give me it now.
You remember how it felt to be in this room, how the object was calling to you, and even how scared you were that someone would actually steal it from you. And you all notice Tobiashi running in the room trying to figure out where this object is. And Tobiashi, for you, this is an odd moment because it's sort of the self-fulfilling prophecy. You're following the images in your dream, leading you to where your object is. You're following this path because it's the path that you saw in your dream that was telling you what this moment would look like. It makes an odd loop in your mind, but you know that there's something waiting for you at the end of... Not this hallway, not this one. I'm almost there. And this one here, and... there it is. Right in front of you, on a small table. Exactly as you saw it in your dream. And so you take them. And as you leave this room, you find yourself, well, unless Jorg, audience, Fisher, and Remy decided to just keep going inside and try to make an inventory of all of this, or try to go against their instinct, telling them that this is not yours, and try and steal something. In doing so, maybe robbing someone of their destiny, the same one that you have been granted. Unless someone decides to do this. As soon as you leave the garden, the vault in the garden, you most likely find yourself in front of so many people watching you, including your friends, watching at what you have in your hands. Are you showing everyone what you have?
As I sit there looking at everyone looking at me, I get a little nervous. I think about, what if somebody takes them from me? And I'll say, why not? I hold them up, and they are... You want me to explain what they are?
Yes.
Okay. One second. Oh, shoot. I don't think I wrote it down in my notes.
Oh dear.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Okay. So, they're basically like gloves. They are... Wait. I gotta go back into the Discord thing. Do. So yeah, they're gloves. They look pretty plain. They have metal kind of like, I forgot what they're called. Like ball pin nails that are kind of like going along the edge of my wrist, and they have a couple of white colored like quartz gems in each of the knuckles, and I hold them up and show them to everybody. I say to everyone, I guess I found my destiny.
Raimi just thinks to himself, not as shiny as his own gems.
He says he thinks so, looking down. You have a small gnome that arrives in front of you. Look at this. Wow. You have a shiny personality. That's really not something that I expected. She's a female gnome.
Thank you.
You've never talked to her before. You've seen her, but you've never talked to her before.
It hasn't felt like that recently, but I can sometimes. What does everyone in the room do?
Well, some of them are talking among themselves. Core seems to be making fun of your gloves.
Obviously.
Audience is gonna go up to you and be like, "So, they look cool. What do they do? Do you do cool things with them?"
I have yet to find out.
You should hit something and see if it explodes.
Should I go
Why is that
out?
so Dragonborn?
Should I go outside and do that, or should I try to punch the wall?
Yeah, punch a rock, see if it explodes.
Punch a rock. All right. I will. I guess I'll go outside. I'm gonna go back to the park and find a rock, the biggest rock I can.
All right. Well,
Audience will follow you. He's excited.
Yep. This will be interesting.
He wants to see the rock explode.
Audience is excited while having trouble holding a laugh, I'd say. Since I'm pretty sure you remember the steps before what you want to see happens.
I'll call out to everyone. I'm like, let's go, everyone. We're gonna go watch Toby make a rock explode.
Wait, there's steps, and you're not gonna tell me them?
You don't know anything.
You don't know.
You don't
that?
know
Yeah,
anything.
exactly. All right.
Stop
all right.
metagaming.
I put on the gloves inside, and I start walking off to see.
Well, the
Go
gloves
outside
are a
to see if
perfect
I can-
fit.
Make a rock explode.
So everyone, several people just peel off, and they've seen what they wanted to see, and you see them leave. And for Jorg, Audience, Remy, and Fisher, the gnome was Nia, the ranger gnome. So a lot of people just follows you, and you do notice that some of them are smiling a bit more than usual as you all go toward the arboretum, and takes a moment, and you find this large rock, this beautiful rock placed in the middle of a small mini garden. Right, big rock should make for a nice show when it explodes.
I get
Let's
ready.
Let's give him a drum roll, everyone.
I get nervous because there's so many people watching me.
The crowd is gonna try and get a drum roll going.
When you say give it a drum roll, you see Corinth just turning his back, and you see Korivan arriving, starting to tap on his shell as like a drum.
And no. And Raimi assists as he opens his beak and gives his own drum rolling sound.
Oh gosh.
And we have a concert of drums.
All right, I pull my fist back and go to hit the rock as hard as I can,
All right,
thinking that it's just gonna explode.
make an attack roll.
All right.
One.
I don't
That
remember what's
is.
gonna happen.
Come on, show up. That's a 15 to hit the rock.
Solid hit, solid hit. You concentrate. You know how it is to put key inside of something. You figure probably the same thing for a magical object. And you punch. Oh, jeez. Oh,
I
God.
start hopping around. I'm like, oh,
That was like punching a rock. Oh, come on.
You said it would explode.
You hear so many people just start laughing and laughing.
Jesus Christ, I think I broke.
Whoops. Am I the one that froze?
I'm like, did I do something wrong?
Audience is gonna shake his head. He's like, gonna be like, no, you did nothing wrong. The item doesn't awaken immediately. You have to prove yourself basically to it before it'll actually do anything for you.
So you just had me punch a rock?
You hear a lot of people start laughing
Your brand
again.
new glove.
Raimi very specifically sounds like a bunch of laughing children.
let's give let's give a round of applause, everyone. It was a good effort, good attempt.
You've never
I sit
heard.
there just.
You've never heard Core laugh quite like this before. He's just kneeling, laughing so hard.
Ow. Jeez. So how do I prove myself to it?
You basically
It takes
have
a while.
Yeah, you have to go on adventures and basically show it what you are and what you're made of.
God damn it.
You see Coven arriving and hold on, and he heals your knuckles. Heals.
Yeah, at that, my hand just looked like it was totally broken. It was just.
You punched the rock.
Imagine if you.
I full force punched the rock.
Imagine if you'd rolled a natural 20.
Jeez. Hey, it might have exploded.
Or you might have shattered your hand. One way or the other.
Yeah, that is true. I'm just like, oh, Jesus. Well, I'm glad some of you got some fun out of it.
Oh.
I'm sure glad I didn't get a weapon.
I look at the gloves, I'm like, so what the hell do they do?
That's for you to figure out. You don't know.
You see Cora, the turtle, arriving next to you. So, well, you're gonna have to find out. Don't worry, your glove will most likely reach out to you in a dream of some sort. When you do something right, they'll most likely ask for more, and then it's gonna happen. But just be yourself. Show them who you are.
All right.
Truly who you are.
I will look at the crowd. I'll look at the crowd and be like, I think you guys could go now. I'm done embarrassing myself.
That's for us to decide.
Roll deception.
This persuasion. I think I might have killed Core. Jesus. I think about socking the rock again, and I'm like, that might not work. Yeah, that might not work.
You have a few people that just arrived and just pat you on the shoulder, and even Core,
Thank you.
when he finishes laughing at you, he arrives and still. You got balls, no brain, but balls. And he walks away, tapping you on the shoulder.
Jesus. I think that's the best compliment I'm going to get from him.
It's one of the best ones I've heard him give to anybody.
So what do we do now?
Well, we have a prophecy to look at, and we can always go look at the quest board.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I do have to get a new house for the one that you broke earlier.
Oh. Yeah.
Raimi just pipes up in a woman's voice. Did I hear we're going shopping?
Yes, we will be going shopping.
Yeah, we need to
Still
go
not
pick
believing my hand is fixed. I'm just like,
up a
Jesus.
bunch of stuff.
Calvin is a good healer. He fixes you up completely.
All right. And then, no, I do have to stop by my room and pick up my reward. Money. I gotta go pick up my money.
Well, this is the first time that you all hear about that.
I want money.
I have money.
Was there
No, I don't
any reward for the quest? I don't actually know because it technically was a quest of all of us to go to the mountains, but I don't remember if there was a reward for it or if it was just go stop this.
You find one of the warden very quickly. Well, actually, you can just go in the tavern and go see
Yeah,
yourself.
because it's kind of the overall garden that just gave it.
Jesus.
So I guess we could just ask the wardens. I'd be like, go find a warden. I'd be like, hey, was there any rewards for this quest, or was it just
Make
like
sure
more
the
of a
key is
moral,
allowed.
like save the world?
With
Well, it
confidence.
wasn't a quest about saving the world, I believe. It was just helping people. So technically, the reward is supposed to go to Kathan, but as she is no longer among us, it was sent to whomever she said it would go to, should the worst happen. But I believe that you all brought back quite a few things, and everything you could find in there was yours to keep. There is your friend who brought a whole lot of knowledge. I am told that they were going to give it quite a good monetary value, as it was extremely precise and spanning such a long distance in time.
Audience is right now thinking about how he could have grabbed knowledge instead of flirting with the girl. And then he goes and thinks to himself, worth it, and moves on.
Worth it. He's like, knowledge or a girl?
Do you
I
think
think I'm gonna go with the girl.
The momentary instant of regret of maybe I should have been looking for valuables to find. Nope, I'm good. I made
Was
the
it
right
worth
choice.
it? Gold
Right, you should
girls.
try to get-
Girls.
you should try to get
Girls.
commissioned minor illusions of what you saw in the caves, and they'll pay you for it.
And they'll pay you for a minor illusion.
I
Yeah.
mean, that's kind of clever, actually. It's not the worst business scheme I've ever heard.
Well, Tobiashi's map was extremely detailed, so wouldn't add a lot.
And there was history.
Yeah.
All right, well, if you guys want to come with me, I'm gonna go grab the gold from my room, and then we could go,
All
or
right.
gold, platinum. I don't know how much they're giving me. And then we could go shopping.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Audience
we've
is
got
like,
some stuff to pick up.
well, I gave everything I got away to you guys, so and I don't have anything to pick up. So I guess
All right.
I'm gonna go figure out something to do while you guys are off doing that. And he's just gonna kind of wander off.
You should before you leave, I'm like, you should check the quest board out and maybe our prophecy thing,
Yeah,
as you said.
I'm gonna do
Oh,
something.
and, I was gonna say, do I know where the monk chick is at?
she was probably somewhere in all of those people a few moments ago. She's probably just a few minutes away.
If you hurry up, you might be able to catch up to her. That's all I say. I don't even say her name or anything. I just say her.
All right. Audience is actually a different look. He's like, how long are you guys going to be shopping for?
I look over to Remy and
I don't know.
Fisher and Jorg.
If
I'm
you
like,
came with us, you'd figure it out. But
Well,
we're probably also gonna.
All I need is what you guys told me about the Umber Hulk armor.
well,
I assume you'll be busy for most of the rest of the day.
We'll take you there.
Mhm.
audience, you know that at the very minimum, it's gonna take them an hour to get there and an hour to get
Yeah.
back. That's just the walking part. So you know that you have a minimum of probably 3
All right.
hours, and that's if they
Audience-
don't start window
Audience
shopping.
always go like, I was like, all right, I'm gonna meet you guys tomorrow. Don't worry about me. I'm gonna be off doing a couple things. Then you're just gonna see him walk off,
Okay.
and
Okay.
I will tell the DM where I am going.
Okay.
Because audience is
When you
actually
figure it
leaving.
out.
Audience is leaving the garden.
Shit.
Okay.
Not going anywhere
All right.
dangerous. He's leaving the garden.
All
so I
right.
guess we head to my room first. I'm looking over at everyone else. As you guys want to
Sure.
meet somewhere while we're shopping.
No.
I don't know where anywhere is, so
Whenever we split up and try and meet up again somewhere else, it takes way longer than it needs to.
all right. So we'll go all together. So my room first.
All right.
Okay.
Let's go. I start heading in the wrong direction. No, I go to the right direction.
All right. So you go to your room, and there you find an additional orb on your desk, and
All
a
right,
small
switch them out.
chest on your desk.
Okay. I look through the chest. What is in it?
You open the chest, and you see a lot of platinum pieces in it,
Okay.
and a few gold, silver, and copper, but so few of them. It's almost just solid platinum all the way through.
All right. Do I count them or do I just
You,
take the chest with me?
What do you want to do? You can do both. It's your money.
All right, I'll count them really quick to see how many I have. Just the platinum pieces.
Just the platinum pieces? Okay. Well, you start counting them, and you have to remember you have Jorg, Fisher, and Remy in the room with you.
Oh yeah.
So,
Well,
Remy, you can
but-
probably count while Tobiashi is counting. And you quickly come to the conclusion, both of you, that probably the intended amount inside of this chest was 1,000 platinum pieces.
Okay.
But there's actually 999 platinum pieces. It's actually a grand total of 10,000 gold minus the 2 silver you owe for your lunch.
All right.
Damn.
No. So wait, 10,000. You're saying.
Insane amount of money.
you have
Yes.
999 platinum pieces, 9 gold, and 8 silver.
All right.
Pay
Dang.
out the ass
Jesus.
for some.
Alrighty.
Well, that was
It
premium
did
information.
use one of my. It did use one of my scrolls. So
Yeah, it's
Um,
premium information.
I put it all back in the chest. I switch the orbs out for the other orb, and then I will. Before I do that, I take off the cultist robes. I have my regular holy robes on, like with holes in them, and then I patch up the holes with some of this pink silk that I have, and I will make a little satchel thing for my chest that all the platinum pieces are in, and I will take them with me. Wait. No, I don't know about them. So yeah, I'll take them with me.
Okay.
As tight as I can. All right. Where to first? I need to know where to get a new home. For this guy, I turn over to you guys, and I show my balls. No, my ball. My ball.
Okay, guys, I think I'm done for the
Just
session.
turn around and drop the trowel.
I just
What do
that
you
was
mean
that was a
by
lot of information that I'm just gonna walk over here for a little bit. You guys continue.
Also, because audience is gone for the rest of the session, I am actually gonna go. 'cause it's
Okay, okay.
1:52.
So I'm gonna keep on talking to you privately for those things.
Yeah,
Okay.
Alrighty.
I'm starting my plan all along to actually murder everyone in the garden. You guys.
Whoa. Cool.
Dragon
Yeah.
likes riches,
We'll just-
and Tobiashi
he
just got
planted a
money.
bomb,
You know,
and
he's
now
gonna.
he's just getting out of that.
He's getting out.
All right, I'll see you guys next week.
See
All
ya.
right.
Bye. Good night.
Bye.
All right. So we're gonna put audience's picture, and unfortunately, it's not well centered because I redid all of the. Now that's better.
So yeah, as I look over to the group, I'm like, Jorg, Fisher, Remy, I need a new home for my my little elemental in here. One that maybe audience can't break.
Okay. Guess we're not
Raimi
going
is going
shopping
to
yet then.
minor illusion.
No, well,
No.
I'll get it while we're going shopping.
For that, it'd probably be better to go to the research center.
All right. If you guys
I
have
mean,
something more
I'm
important
assuming you
than
want to
this-
know what it is too, right?
I do want to know what it is.
Yeah. And what you will need to hold it,
Yeah, exactly.
so you
Also,
don't get to a
I
shopkeeper
will
and he's
say-
like, "What do you want?" And you're like, "I don't know."
Yeah. I will also say, if you guys have something more important to do, because this could probably wait for a little while. I think he's chilling for right now. I think he's relaxing for right now. And if you guys have something more important to grab while we're off, then we could go do that first.
I want that armor.
All right.
I don't know how important that is.
Sure. We can go
All
grab
right.
armor.
And
I
I
don't
technically,
need
will
it.
follow you
Should.
guys.
and technically, Fisher, you also need to go to the research quarter.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, and I forgot.
I needed
there is a small note attached to the chest.
Oh, I'll read it.
Yeah, it's for you and your entire party. All of
I'll
the
read
knowledge
that
that you have given grants to any member of your party 1 free research for a spell.
Wait,
Did you say for a spell?
For a spell.
One
Okay.
free
the
research.
research for what? I look over to them. I'm like, what does that mean?
I'm assuming.
Well, Fisher and Remy, you know what this means because you've already had this favor given to you before. It's one you can normally when you research a new spell, you have to pay a cost in time and money. What this is that no matter the level, it's going to be free. You only need to pay the time.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
I see. So does that mean I get a spell? Then she's like,
If you can use spells.
If you can learn it, you got to be able
Alright.
to learn it.
A spellcaster.
yeah. Sounds
Wait,
good.
so if I
sounds good.
know all the spells I can cast,
It is helpful for
Yeah.
wizards.
It's mostly
Yeah.
helpful
can I
for
learn a
wizards.
new cantrip?
No.
All right, I'm gonna state this plainly for those of you not in the know. It's like essentially the only person who can effectively use this favor right now is Raimi.
Oh,
Right now, I will be able to later, but yeah, no, it's
Well,
only.
technically, Fisher, you could use it. It might take an entire level before you can actually
Yeah.
update your spell list, but you could
Mhm.
technically use it. And it would be mean to Remy because he already has that feat. But if Tobiyashi took the ritual caster, you would be able to use it to learn a ritual spell.
Now the question is, can I use it for somebody else?
It's for you and your party. So anyone in your party can call in this favor.
All right,
Yeah.
sounds good. You guys lead the way to the research facility, or wherever we need to go first.
Are we going research or are we going armor first?
Research sounds good to me. Either
Okay.
one.
'Cause
Yeah,
we
we
do
get
have
two
some.
done there.
Immediately, and it's gonna be heavy to lug around. So yeah.
Yeah. All right. Research.
Well, technically, your armor, if it's heavy to lug around, why are you buying it for you?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you'll put it on, but
Yeah.
It's going to
let's
take a
go
while, but...
research.
We start heading over
First.
there. You guys are guiding
'Cause-
me. I have to go pee.
All right.
Because we might have to leave whatever
Maybe
it
I
is
should
we
get
want
some
them to
armor
research
going
at the
forward.
research place, and then we can go shopping. So
Yeah.
All right, so
But
you,
do we need armor to go into the research place?
no,
you
we're
need-
not going into the research and development.
Oh,
We're just going into
just
research.
Which you'll need to
Sounds
go
good to
there
me.
if Remy wants his bracelet. You need to go there at least once.
Mhm.
All right, so
Oh no, no, Ramy's thing is in the like the gnome floor.
Yeah.
That's at a completely different floor.
well, Remy has two things. He has the armor, and he has the bracelet. The armor is in the shopping place, and the armor is in the shopping place, and the bracelet is in the research and development. You've even
And back.
been given instruction on how to find the person who has them.
All right.
I-
Executive decision.
I
We're
really-
going to research first.
I rewatched
And-
the entire episode to make sure that I wasn't going to make you pay twice something that you already paid.
I would appreciate it if. I mean, Toby, you have your own thing you want to research, but I would appreciate it if you two also came with us.
I will come with you.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right. So, since all of
All right.
this is going to take a significant amount of time, because I'm not sure, but I think Fisher has forgotten why he needs to go there. So,
Back to research.
well, yeah. You've been told to go there the next time that you were in the garden.
I believe it was it's either about Terry or it's about my physical components.
Yes. It's definitely about one of those two.
Or
So,
I'm going about Terry. There might also be stuff about physical component stuff
all right.
because Civ was here last time.
Yeah. So you all go directly to the knowledge quarter, where it takes a while. You have to go through the arboretum, and Tobiyashi, you sort of see a bit more of the arboretum. It's a long forest, and just like on one side there is a garden of the forest, on the other side it's large fields that apparently people are growing stuff in it. You recognize this is most likely wheat. You have no clue what that fruit is, but that looked like strawberries. They're growing a whole variety of stuff. You enter into one of the doors and go up to the knowledge quarter. The knowledge quarter feels a lot like a mage tower, in the sense that when you arrive, it feels circular. You see, but it's extremely wide, and there are passageway going from one side to the other on different level. You see several level. Just like that, trying to count, you see 5 different levels. There is one that you arrive on that the floor seems to be larger than everyone else, any other floor. But there are places where you can see there are 2 floors under you, and seems to be 2 floor, but when you're looking at this very carefully, it feels like there's a third one completely up. It's sort of a weird perspective. But you see a lot of warden moving about, taking books to one section. Some of them are writing books, some of them are reading books. As always, you can find, well, almost always, you can find also Theag, who is there. For Fisher, Jorg, and Remy, she is a familiar sight. But for you, Tobiashi, Theag looks like... It's hard to tell. She does have features which strongly resembles a half-elf. She's very thin, very elegant in the way that she moves. But the way she talks and the way that she reacts feels maybe closer to human. So it's really hard to get a good read on what is she. She has blonde hair and always talk very gently to whomever is talking to her. And as you all come in, you see her on a table researching something. You see all of the wardens moving about. You do see one warden who looks so much bigger than everyone else. It is standing next to the door that you arrive in. The wardens are as tall as audience, slightly taller than audience, maybe a few inch taller. This other version of the warden would tower over audience. It's really at the edge of a medium and large creature. So much that it's hard to determine. You're looking at him and is it large or is it normal size? Well, audience normal size. But it's there, and it looks more imposing. But simply sees you entering, gives you a soft bow, and lets you enter. And this is where we're going to stop tonight's session, because you probably don't want to go for another hour and a half to settle this tonight. And I have received a little private message saying that it's a good idea to end it here. So I completely agree with that message. So we're going to end the session here for tonight, with all of you entering the Knowledge Quarter. And immediately seeing that you seem to have been expected. But we're going to go down this path next time we start the session. So that's it for tonight. We hope you had a very pleasant evening. We hope that even though it's a more quiet evening, because we're basically taking care of the players' need until they start adventuring again. And since they went up level, they want their armor, they want their new abilities, they want the... You know how it is. Players, they always want their things right now.
Aren't we the worst?
Always pressuring me. Oh, finish doing this, finish doing that. Hey, what's the abilities on that? Always. Never ends. But the session needs to end now. So we hope you had a pleasant evening. We hope you'll be back next week for the continuation of this preparation for what is to come, especially since there are quite a lot of things to take care of. Fisher has at least 2 things to do. Same thing with Remy. Jorg has something to do. Tobiashi has something to do, and apparently a whole lot of money. And everyone in the party, except audience, knows that he has a whole lot of money. So this is going to be interesting.
Although an addendum, I actually have a parade of things to do, but the 2 things that you're thinking of are at the top of the list. But anyway.
Yeah, no. What I'm talking about is the thing that you were told to come back and recover once you got back from your adventure. You can have more things to do if you want to. That's not a problem. But yes, this is where tonight will end, and next episode will most likely be the end of, well, actually the beginning of the shopping. Because today was Tobiyashi officially becoming a part of the team. Yay!
Let's go.
And nearly breaking his hand, but also making a whole lot of friends by taking part of this strange initiation ritual.
I got hazed.
Yeah, self-hazing.
Self-hazing. More like audience hazing.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
It was.
Look, nobody forced you to do anything. You did it of your
Yeah.
own volition.
Yo, I thought it would work.
That's why a few people peeled off. You know, they knew where it was going, so they didn't want to take part in this. But a whole lot of
Hey
people
man,
in there.
we didn't know. For all we know, I mean, you could have been able to just explode a rock on your own. So
Yeah,
That is
No.
true.
but most likely not.
what am I kidding? We've seen your combat abilities. We know
Meanwhile,
that.
Rank has already proven he can explode a rock.
All right, so
Yes.
hope we'll see you back next Wednesday. As always, if you missed the episode, there's a rebroadcast on Friday. And I will be there several times to see if people actually talk in the chat. And who knows, maybe some of the players will also be there. And you might be able to strike a conversation. Who knows? But see you all next Friday for the rebroadcast, or next Wednesday for the next episode. Till then, if you enjoyed the show, remember you can support the stream by following us on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. You can also support the stream by making a donation, becoming a Patreon, or subscribing to the channel on Twitch. It's
There's a lot of
activated,
gold.
and I enjoy getting paid to do this. I'd love to do this for longer, and I need the people to pay if you want me to do this for longer. So, but if you can't pay, well, you can do the last thing.
Pay by word of mouth.
Yeah, exactly. Spread the word. The more people will be coming, the more people have a chance of, just becoming a follower helps the channel becoming bigger. So, why not at least do that? But if you can afford it, give something to the channel.
Although,
Yes.
although to be clear, we're wanting you to pay with your mouth with words.
I said pay by word of mouth, very specifically.
Oh, sorry. I guess
I was
part of
wondering how
that
long it
phrase
would
just
take
like
you to-
I guess part of that phrase just like went through one ear out the other. Sorry about that.
You know, I was like,
female.
I said it, and I was
female.
like, wait, no, I'm just gonna see how long it takes for Zach to make this joke.
No, that's all right. I had friends who had weird ways of saying things. I had a friend who couldn't say weapon smithing, so he kept saying weapon spitting.
I mean, that sounds like a cool ass ability. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Well, except when you're talking to someone you like. But yeah. But yeah, you can always help us also simply by spreading the word. And so this is it for tonight. As always, good night. Stay safe and stay healthy. Bye.
Jenny.
Yeah.
Bye.